Okay, and we are live. Whew. All right, so now that I finished with the first piece, I kind of got my hands around a more preferable approach to sketching, to getting all of this stuff done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to work on some character designs this time. So for the most part, let's see. For the most part, what I want to do is I actually want to get a border. So get a border going, and then I want to, once again, extrude the canvas 200%. Just like this. Maybe I actually want to get a bit of a thicker border. F6. Let's do something like 5 pixels. And that's 5 pixels on the inside. Yeah. Let's be more generous, like 10 pixels. Here we go. So now, let's get our extra space. 200 this way. No, come on. 200 this way. Here we are. Okay, so first things first. What I want to do is I want to get the design of these kind of clockwork based citizens, so to speak, these NPCs. And I kind of have an idea of what it is that I'm trying to get out of them. So let's see, what is this? Table pressure dictates the... Okay, so that's for brightness, and this is for thickness. Okay, that's fine. So here's what I want to do. I want to go into draft mode. I'm gonna lock border and background, and all I want to do now is just kind of get a nice drawing going here. Okay, so let's assume that the characters, that would be the top side, that would be the bottom, so that would be the midpoint. Okay, so go ahead and maximize this. Okay, so generally I'd say height-wise, that should be fine. And obviously, let me get my music going here. Okay, so for this stuff, what I want to do is I kind of want to get this. Basically, it's a mechanical man, so to speak. It's like a wind-up man. So to do that, let's see, so let's say should probably actually keep this at least a little bit in proportion to the guides that I've set up. Just a bit. Also, there's a lot of perspective going on here, so I'm gonna probably have to adjust for that. I actually have this music playing on shuffle, but it actually doesn't fit because it jumps between it keeps jumping between different styles for different projects, which, you know, kind of doesn't transition very well. Okay, now. Okay, so the basic idea with this particular piece is to have basically it's a mechanical man. Now there's no electricity involved with making this character move, so it's all mechanical, it's all spring loaded, which and I had this idea how the wind powered pianos, like the old Western movie pianos that play automatically play a tune or play a melody, they have like wind powered mechanisms. So they have a roll of paper with holes in it, and depending on which pipes blow air through each holes will determine which keys will be pressed. So I kind of want to have that sort of thing, like every citizen has a role, and that role is embedded into this roll of paper. So it's like an entire day's worth of tasks. So that is basically what I want to implement here. So there'll be a roll down here. Or up there, and then there's a roll down here. And then there are gears that basically turn and execute the code, so to speak, the instructions. So I don't need that line. Okay, now when it comes to arms, I want to basically kind of offset the position of the arms to maybe something in the back or something like down below here. Maybe have a cylinder, like a cylinder over here that would essentially be to the side, and the arms would be attached to the cylinder. Maybe even if I make the cylinder like half the height, so that let's see, so that there's basically like an arm, an attachment that raises the entire contraption up to shoulder level. But it's basically kind of like see, I think it would be probably better if I was doing dual perspective. So it'd have to be something like this. So it's something like this, where if this is the torso of the citizen, then the two cylinders kind of have to do this a bit of an angle. So the two cylinders would be here to the sides, like clockwork cylinders. And then they would take these connectors that would rise back up here. And that would basically be kind of like a simulated shoulder, but in a very, very strange way of doing this. And obviously, you know, that would be obscured by the instruction rules. So with this stuff, we have the this sort of movement, so back and forth, and which means that all I really need is to implement the up and down movement, and I think we're actually done on that point. I mean, I could probably encase this into something like that, and then, you know, this would be a basically a gearbox. And obviously this would have the swivel, and now we can actually connect our hand. Now, if there is the pivot point down here, the mechanical pivot point, then I'd say the elbow should be right about here. I mean, even though it's robotic, it should still kind of be anatomically at least in the ballpark. Now this entire thing would probably have to be just shrunk just a tiny bit. That's pretty good. In fact, I think we can kind of do this and get away with this sort of contraption that kind of bends the arm back in place. Should work. Up until this point. So over here Maybe I should actually do this with the red. Let me see if I can create a new swatch from this. Okay, sketch blue, and let me take like a reddish color. New swatch, sketch red. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get that, which is this piece over here, and this will be connected like that. Well, this is at least, like, for now, this is purely mechanical. There's no like aesthetic changes to make to this. Here we go. So that should be about right up to the waist. And now I kind of got to figure out how to connect the elbow together to this piece. So should probably take this entire thing and color it appropriately, just so that I could tell the difference between the two sketches. Like this. Okay. Now, if it's something that actually looks good, let's say it's probably would be like a nice big disc. So nice big disc over there. And I mean, technically, if we do this with the same way we did the legs, then we need the pulleys up top, which actually kind of makes me wonder. I mean, the disc in that case wouldn't really fit functionally. So in this case, we can probably add another swivel joint like this. But for the sake of just making it look a little bit deformed and a little bit strange and just a tiny bit less human-like, add these pegs to the end, so to speak. So then this would have to be out like that. Actually, I want it to be thinner, just a tiny bit thinner, so out like this. But then we have this thicker piece, which is basically going to be like a rotating mechanism. Then a thinner piece there. Which will turn into an arm. Now, am I making a full arm? Or is it going to be like more like a thumb and like all four fingers in one single mesh, which will kind of, you know, I don't think I need. Here's the thing. I mean, since this is going to be a mechanical model, it's not an organic thing that I have to bind joints and bones to in Maya. Then I can actually just get away with a purely mechanical machine, which in this case, I think I need for the general purpose of this game, I think I can get away with just using something like a hook. Oh yeah. Kind of have to, you know. This shit ain't gonna draw itself. Now, actually, here's what I can do. I can put a disc here. Which I'll probably just elaborate on a different sketch. And I can put another disc here. So all I have to do is just make this plane. Let's see, so I can make this plane flat. So this plane will be flat, and then everything else will kind of curve around that. Then I can go ahead and can I just erase this? Just suggest that these are gears. Here we go. So that means that I can go ahead and do this. I mean, these will have to be all moving parts. Probably have like a nice big gear over here. Just kind of erase it. Make it more of a subtractive drawing than additive. And I think that actually suggests enough. I mean, most of this stuff is just instructions for when it comes to 3D modeling, so that's good. That's cool. Now, when it comes to moving this arm up and down, this would have to be done just like with these things. So I would need, so right around here, I would need this shape, which is essentially that, which will once again have a piston. Yeah, just like that. Okay, now as far as the arm goes, I think all we need is basically a claw. So I'm thinking, let's see. So I'm thinking basically something like this. And so this would be the fixed piece that doesn't move. Kind of a single iron cast, so to speak. Like that. And the other piece would have to be here. And this would be up like this. Actually, I think this one should be the longer one. And this should be the shorter piece, the bottom piece, so to speak. All right, now this way we kind of have our grip here, so I mean we have the piece kind of going through the metal there. And now I need to get what, another pulley? What else can I use? Well, let's see. So since we're kind of looking at it like this, I guess I wouldn't really see it. So I'm thinking maybe something like this actually. Get a nice disc over here. Just get that in there. And this would be here we go. Well, I'd say that pretty much covers most of the movement. Probably need to limit this thing to something like this, actually. Do that, and just to place it there. Here we go. Okay, so I mean mechanically that should be fine. So it swivels around, so I can actually rotate it. Goes up and down, left and right. I think that actually covers the majority of the movements. Seems right. Okay, now visually wise, what I want to have is I kind of want to have this sort of blank expression, because there's basically going to be like mailman, police officers, and I think that's, I mean, besides like standard citizen class units, they should be pretty square. So what I want to do is I kind of want to do that. So kind of want to do this blank expression. So and since it's, you know, old and rusty, this, it's basically like a faceplate, or like a thin sheet of metal. So the face doesn't actually have a function. It's just there for aesthetics, or for making the citizen more human-like without putting in the work of actually making him human-like. Okay, now I want to get the design of the citizen and at least start on another environmental drawing for this. All right. I guess these pistons do have to be kind of bulky, considering that they are moving the entire weight of this contraption. Okay, now what I really want to do is I kind of want to make some blank expressions actually. So we have the I'll come up with a perfect blank expression for this guy. I want it to be perfect, but blank but eerie. So I mean, can't really achieve that with big eyes, unless you can. Big but empty eyes. Let's see. So what if there is a piece that's in there, but it's kind of just mounted? And it's just the eyes. Maybe even the nose. maybe for the nose. Maybe like a graded surface like this. And then, you know, obviously nothing in here. Like this. And a more like a thin, unnatural. That, or maybe something like this, like these old old-time radios. You know what I'm talking about. Huh. That has an interesting appeal to it. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this, paste it here, and I'm gonna do this same thing without the mouse, the mouth, like this. Okay, probably. Probably do something like this. Okay, obviously now I need the one without the mouse. I still want to have a blank one. Like this. Okay, so what if we make a grid? Because the thing is, I mean, these characters are not going to be talking. They will be semi-sentient. But they're not going to be talking. Try some more stuff with the blank eyes there. Probably like raise the eyes a bit. Okay. Do something like this. And maybe make a perforated metal grill. Oh god, it looks like a cheese grater. Okay, so what about this? And, you know, this kind of look way too robotic though. I mean, I still want it to be, at least with the facial features, a bit more human. So what if we basically cut off this side? I think the lack of the iris is actually what makes something appear creepy, something that's supposed to be natural but is unnatural. So I mean, if we want these big eyes, they would be pretty noticeable. Like this. I think we're actually getting somewhere. Huh. So then if this thing kind of turns around, it's does seem pretty creepy. Let's experiment with the eye size here. Maybe even do something like this. Yeah, that's not bad. This one's pretty good, yeah. Okay, Okay, so what if I do something like... kind of looks cartoony. Like, it looks a lot like the eyes from the whatchamacallit. I'll draw it anyways, just for the sake of just having it here. It kind of look like the eyes from... Okay, let's try it without the iris. The eyes from the Neverhood. Actually, holy crap, what if I do this? It's not bad. Okay, so that's that. What about... I mean, I can't really do the reverse. Because then that just makes it too happy looking. Ooh. What if I do this? Here, I guess I'm gonna have to use references. So, if I look up emotionless face, of course, Kristen Stewart will be popping up in Google for emotionless face. Oh no. Ooh, this looks pretty cool. This looks pretty cool. So it kind of let me actually save this. So it looks like either a mask or it looks like a texture for a 3D object. Or it looks like a 3D object without the eyes. But yeah, it's actually not bad. So I'm gonna try to use this as a reference just to see if it's gonna work. Ooh, not bad. It's actually, Yo, so I gotta simulate an eye socket. To make it look more creepy, I gotta simulate an eye socket. And then, I guess for... Oh, this is actually not bad. Not too bad, actually. I think I can kind of elaborate this into something that works. So what if I actually try to do this thing with these types of eyes? With or without the iris? See, this kind of suggests that there's supposed to be a pupil, which is, huh? Ooh. So it's basically the same thing as here, but it's a little bit... It looks less retro-y though. So it's gotta look like it's a one big piece of metal. That's not too horrible. Let's see. This one looks really cool, so let me see if I can do something along the same lines, but with a more let's see. Let's see. let me actually get a few more copies of this stuff. Here we go. Ooh, this looks interesting. It's basically like ovals, oval grid. So what if I go ahead and do this? And do something like this. Huh. Well, this grade looks better. You see, now this looks very basic and it's kind of starting to become more and more appealing. So what if I do the blank stare with the tiny eyes, the simulated nose, and then the oval grade mouth? Like this. I mean, that kind of has a blank look to it, but see, I need to probably space this stuff out a little bit more. Like, what did I have over here? Yeah, basically around this. What if I actually take this and lift it up? Perhaps even space it just a little bit more. like this. I mean, I don't think adding a nose would do much. Not in this case. What about a perfect circle? Like just plain old. Plain old that. What about having the grades right on top of the face? Yeah. Yeah, just about. Looks menacing. Ish, sort of. But it looks too crazy. I need like a more just a blank stare, which seems to work when you just draw the eyes just right. What if the eyes were just a little bit slimmer? Actually, you know what? This could be something. What if the grades is actually just a tiny little 3-piece like this? I mean, there's no purpose. This character doesn't speak anyway, so. Oh god. Let's see. Decisions. So what if I do... No, if I do them tall, they'll look way too comic-y. If I do this, for instance. What if it's more angular? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. But there shouldn't be anything there. Like there's no sense in putting a pupil there. just adds character. Which is not what I need. Could it be just maybe has to be a pair of eyes? Like this. I mean, it worked before. Ish. Like shit, man. What if I just take this out and I take this out? So now or even do that. There's no sense for eyebrows, I think. Yeah, there's no sense in eyebrows. Ooh, actually, what if I do that? That's not too horrible. I mean, it's a bit more defining than just a blank stare. Or it's a bit more defining than just holes, circles. But it's not defining it. Whoop, I saw that. It's not defining enough to give it character. So basically it's just something like this. Except no nose and no mouth. Like this. So it's human enough to be uncanny. But it's blank enough to just be a tiny expression. Okay. Let me pour some tea. And before I dig into that tea, just gonna quickly check up on something. Okay, so how about this? What if it's more than just a box? What if it's actually... What? Oh, no. No. Damn it. I gotta reload. Good riddance, I haven't even saved yet. Gem station crop. So this is NPC general. Okay. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, don't do that now. Okay, so what if we kind of suggest human features? So just kind of just the basic sculpture, so to speak. But we're only going to have the eyes in. Huh. This actually might be an interesting idea. So we sculpt in just a blank expression, and we have all the photographs of Kristen Stewart to thank for that. Okay, well there goes all that. Okay, so I guess when you pair it with something like this, when it's all rusty and stuff, this kind of makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Even though it's just basic, just a pair of eyes, it looks eerie enough to consider this thing be designed to be just average, not too human-like. Because at least I have to say just a pair of eyes is enough to make an eerie image. Which I guess that's alright. Yeah, so I'd have to figure out what the torso looks like, because this is somewhat basic right now. And I'm going to go ahead and do that after I grab a bite to eat, because I'm actually kind of starving. Alright, so that should be fine. We'll do this in a bit.